Lakshana. And after that, I will send you YouTube link. You can listen to it at any moment. Okay, right. So, what is this case study? Now, you would have done the F3, P3, E3. You did your self studies and you did it, isn't it? Right. Now here the case study. Now you said you're working, no, Samya? As an accountant, you're working. Okay, that's a school, no? Hmm? Yeah, it's a private school, right? So when you go to office in the morning, sometimes your principal might come and say, Lakshana, we have a problem. Hmm? The students are not paying the school fees or whatever, and what can we do? Now that's a problem. So you have to think what is the solution. Now there are many solutions. You can tell students without paying fees, don't come to the school. Or you might think better speak to the parents. Or you might think better speak to the students and find out why they are unable to pay the fee. So there are many solutions that can come up, and you will certainly say, Madam Principal, let's look at this possibility. Sometimes maybe not in a school, but maybe in that part of the earlier we had a lot of problems. It may be due to some unrest. I mean, hopefully it won't happen now, but due to some unrest, the students are unable to come to school. Yeah. Now, probably during the time that you were studying, did you study in Jaffna? Right? You would have gone through a lot of difficulties, right? Yeah. So maybe something like that. Then your principal will ask, Lakshana, what shall we do? Can we get them into an online lesson or something like that without them attending the school? So you might have to think of providing internet facilities, something, because for example, we are doing for SIMA certified level. I mean, at the initial level, foundation level, we are doing some online lessons for the students in a Dubai school. Straight from here to the school, we do it through this online. We are doing it. So there may be many methods. So what I'm trying to say is the case study, you must never think that as an exam. It's like you're working in this company called ADF. It's a family concern. It's a farming company, and you, as the particular position that you're holding, you have a certain responsibility. And on a day that is the exam day, when you go to the office, you will have 3 problems coming up. It's 60 minutes, 60 minutes, 60 minutes. 3 problems are coming up in your way, one at a time. First of all, you will have a problem. You will give a solution, something. Then once that is over, another problem will come up and another problem may come up. It may be, although the exam is happening on the same day, it may be today, maybe the next problem is 2 weeks later, and the next problem may be 3 months later. Sometimes it is very well connected, the problems. So basically the idea of pre-scene that was given long time back, 6 weeks, 7 weeks earlier, the idea of the pre-scene is for you to know the company very well. So actually we should have done it a little bit earlier, but it's all right. To know the company very well. By this time, by 9th of November, you should be as if you are working. Now when you go to your school, right, how long you have been in this school as an accountant now? 2 months, right? So by this time, you must be knowing almost anything in the school, isn't it? You must be knowing their finances. You must be knowing their internal control systems. You must be knowing how much they are getting, how much they have to pay to the teachers, whatever. All that you must be knowing. Right? So that is the thing from the pre-scene what we expect, Lakshana. we want you to be part of that company. So you must read the Preseen all over, like your religious, whatever the books you are reading, you must read the Preseen. Today it's 9. Actually, we should have started much earlier, but don't worry. Every day you must read the Preseen now. Right? When you read the Preseen, you might come across something new. Right? Now in your religion, you must be having certain, now for us the Christians, we have the Bible. So like that, you all must be having certain, religious book. When you read the same old book all the time, you get some new revelations. Isn't it? Hmm? Similarly, the case study, when you read it first time, it may be something. Second time when you read it, you understand better. Third time you read it, you understand it better. Fourth time once you read it, you might get something new which you did not see earlier. Even now, yesterday also, I found something which I have not seen in this ADF case study from the day I started reading. Right? So sometimes what I don't see, you will see. Sometimes what I don't see, my students will see. So they will say, I saw something like this. So all of us, it's a joint effort. So I'm joining you in a partnership with you today for this case study. It's your effort, my effort together, and finally, if you succeed, it's my success also. And that's my wish, that's my prayer for you that you will succeed. So the case study, what basically is as if now in your school, maybe after 2 months in the school, if you asked to write about the school, the whole thing, about your position in the school, then who is the principal, who are the teachers, how many students, what classes do they have, how much fees they are collecting, what are the expenses, who are the competitive schools, what are the strengths in your schools, what are the weaknesses in your school, all that you can put it into a nice little paper. That's the same thing with the case study. So some person has studied this company called ADF and has put up a paper, a 20-page paper, a 20-page document. So the idea of that is for you who is joining the company 7 weeks before the exam will know by the time you come to the 7th week very well about the company. Now I know you will not need to go and check your books to find out who is your principal in the school, isn't it? You know the principal's name. You know the teachers' names. Right? You know whoever the clerk or whoever the collecting the fees, all that people's name. So similarly, in the Preseen, now in this case, if I remember right, Don is no, not Don here, some other person is the finance director. Right? So we must know that name by heart. So on the day of the exam, it is something called unseen. The marks that what I send you to is all unseen. That is based on the Preseen, based on the company, they will put up a problem to you. It may be a problem if it was a school. It may be, as I said, civil unrest. People are unable to come to school. I mean, a couple of days back here, again in North, you had some problems, and there may be situations like that. The students are unable to come to school, and maybe the weather is bad or whatever, and what are we going to do? So you have to remember your role. So I want to put up this case study before you. You have the case study, right? So I'm going to put up this case study for you. First of all, you must know is what is your role. Now in this case study, you are a senior manager. And what is your role? What do they expect from you as the senior manager? What have you learned about it? This is the company called ADF. ADF, what have you learned about it? What is your role? Look at the role. You are the senior manager in the ADF company. You report directly to the board and advise on special projects and strategic measures. Now that you must underline, and you must now in the school, what is your role? You are the accountant. So as accountant, you have a role to play. What is the role to play? You have to prepare the financial statements, monthly statements, isn't it? Balance the cash books, balance the bank accounts, reconciliations, all that must be part of your work. Now here, it's a bigger role than that. You are basically, now in a company, we have the board of directors. Who are the board of directors? In your P3, you would have come across something called corporate governance and the board of directors. Who are the board of directors, Lakshana, in a company? What is their role? What are they expected to do? Yeah, they are making decisions. Which decisions? Yes, good, very good. Yeah, one word you can use it. That's good. Strategic decisions, isn't it? What is strategic decisions? Strategic decisions are long-term decisions. Yeah, the board of directors are not going to look at whether the garbage cleaner has come today or something like. Those decisions are taken at the lower level, day-to-day decisions. Right? Board of directors are not going to look at how much you paid for the traveling and petty cash and all that. They will be managed by certain people. But the board of directors are the people who take long-term decisions. Right? Why? Because each company, ADF or any other company has some strategic objectives. What do you mean by strategic objectives? Long-term objectives to achieve. In a business, basically the long-term objective is to increase shareholder wealth. But having said that one, now we have something called a balanced scorecard. You are increasing the shareholder wealth, but on a balanced way. You look at the things like what? You look at the things like customer satisfaction. You look at things like employee welfare. You look at things like the internal perspectives and also the financial objective. Long time back, it was only the financials. But now you can see when you go to any place, they treat you as a customer, because they know that way when they treat you well, when they treat the employees well, the customers, when they are happy, they will come. Look at that ice cream place, Rio. All the people are coming there. Why? The ice creams are tasty, service is good, isn't it? That is why all the people who are coming from Colombo also going there, people who are in Jaffna also going there. At any time, you get a big crowd in that place. Because the internal perspective, that means the quality of the ice cream is very good. Then the customers are very well looked after. When you go, they say, oh, come here, come sit here, this, that, and the other. Employees are like machines. They are working all the time, treating the customer. So, what is the ultimate result of all that? When the customers are happy, when the product is good, when the employees are happy, what is the ultimate result, Akshana? What is that? Yeah, because when everyone is happy, the company will prosper, isn't it? Look at your school. When the teachers are happy, when the students are happy, when you are giving good quality education, obviously many students will come and your profits will start rising. So that is what the balance scorecard said. So all the time we should be looking from that angle. But financially, we are looking at the end of the day to increase the shareholder wealth. So to increase shareholder wealth, we set up certain objectives. Every company, now you have objective today. What is the objective of you? For you to get through this final CIMA paper. So you have to get through this objective, what is? You have action plan drawn up. What is action plan? You are now trying with me to see whether together, whether we can do something between today and the exam day so that you can get through the exam. Right? So that's what we call an action plan, strategic action plan. So you have taken a decision and implemented a strategic action plan. Yesterday we discussed and we have decided, and then we saw the resources availability. Is the internet working? Right? Isn't it? Internet working, time availability, right? All that we saw, whether how much we can pay, all that we saw, and we decided, okay, let's proceed with it. So same way, the companies also, that is what they do. They will have objectives. To achieve the objectives, if you just set the objectives and just wait, what will happen? Nothing will happen. You have to set up a plan. You can say, I'm going to pass the exam, I'm going to pass the exam. You can dream all that. But if you don't set up a certain plan, it will not work. You will sleep, isn't it? So now you have to get up and wait till 10 o'clock in the night because you want to have an action plan to get through the exam. And we decided the resources. So the companies will decide on what we call a strategic action plan. Now you, as a senior manager in this Anderson Dairy Farming Company, you are advising them on special projects and strategic matters. So you have to remember that role very well. You are advising on long-term things. Not about today, tomorrow, something. You are not looking short-term. You are looking all the time long-term. And special projects. Special projects are something out of box, something new, not a normal thing what you are doing, something like acquisition, as you rightly said, that kind of a thing. So I'm not going to go to all the details because I know you have gone through, but one couple of things for you to remember. This company is a private company. It's a family company. It's a family company. The father, the mother, the two sons and the daughter. Right. So you can see normally in our strategic case studies all this time we had companies where it was listed companies. So listed companies, they do have a strategy. They set up a strategy and they have to work on a strategy. But if you look at this company, you will realize they don't have a strategy. They don't seem to have a strategy at all. Why do I say that? Because this was a 150-year-old company that would have been started by their grandfathers and grandfathers, right? What is your father doing? Pardon? What is your father? What is he working? What is he doing? He's a farmer. Okay, right. Okay, but what I was trying to look at is, the family history. Sometimes the things come from the history of the family, right? So this company, the people now, because in your part of the country, a lot of people are in the agriculture. Lot of people are in the agriculture. They grow, and most likely many generations would have been doing that one. But now maybe the younger generation, they are looking for these studies and all that, which is a very good thing. But if you look at the ancestral, maybe they would have been doing a lot of this agriculture work, which they prospered. That soil is very good, that kind of a thing. So here also we have a company which was started by this Jonathan Anderson or some person 150 years ago, and now the present scenario is they have acquired 3 other farms, neighboring farms, and the last one they have acquired is in 2001. 2001. So we are in 2017. 16 years no expansion. Can you see, right? The key word in your financial strategy, when you looked at earlier, you would have seen the key word is always the growth. The businesses must grow. Any business that is not growing will not survive. In the today's competitive world, the businesses must continue to grow. How do they grow? In your financial strategy, you would have come across 3 decisions. What is that? Investment strategy. Isn't it? You have to make new investments. You do a lot of net present value calculations and decide investment strategy. You are going to invest in this, you are going to invest in that, all that kind of a thing. Right? So when I was in Kankasanture, I just checked it because it was an army camp earlier, that Tal 7 or some place, but now they are converted into a hotel. They have invested, refurbished, and they have done something, the way to grow. So you have to have investments. Then the other one in your F3 strategy would have come across something called financing. You have to find money to invest. You have to find money, right? If it's a listed company, you can go to the market and raise money through a rights issue, through an initial public offering, or even through taking issue in bonds and loans and debentures and all that. But being a private company, they don't have that facility. They can't go to the market. And so what I'm trying to tell you is, in this company, we can't talk to you as a strategist, you as a person advising on strategic matters. If you go and tell, let's go to the market and raise money, that's looking very silly. So remember, this exam, we are tested on 4 skills: technical, leadership, business, and peoples. Isn't it? Leadership, technical, business, and people. And in each of the area, in the strategic case study, did you do the management case study earlier? No. So this is the first time you are doing a case study. Yeah. So, right. So in the strategic case study, 25%, 25%, 25%, 25% for the 4 areas. Right. Now, only thing what they say is, you have to get 90 marks out of 150 to get through the exam. Right, 150. So the exam is marked. I'm going to put up something. I don't know whether you must be knowing, but I want to show you how it is done. People's 25%. Leadership 25%. Technical 25% and business 25%. Right, so whenever you answer, this is what you have to get. So you are marked out of 150. So out of 150, 25% is 37 and a half. One-fourth, one-fourth, one-fourth. Right, 150. Out of 150, to get through the exam, you need 60% or 90 marks. Out of 150, 60%. 150, 60%, 90 marks you require. Now you have to collect 90 marks in each of these areas. So out of 37.5 full marks, you have to collect 60% of 37.5. So what is 37.5? 60% of 37.5? 22 and a half or something like that, no? 22 and a half. Right? So you have to get 22 and a half on people skills, 22 and a half on leadership skills, 22 and a half on technical skills, 22 and a half on business skills. So even if you get, say, people skills, you get, say, shall we say, you get 30? 30. Leadership skills, if you get 15, even if the other three also you get, say, 35 and 35 good marks. So you might get 70, 100, 115. but still you have failed the exam. Why? Because on the leadership you did not get the minimum 22 and a half. Understand? On each of those skills you have to get the marks. 60%. So even if you score on all the other three big marks, and if you miss on one particular skill, still you have failed the exam. So you might get 115 and you will be surprised to know that you have failed the exam. So because of that, when we are writing the answers, there are three sections to the paper: 60 marks, 60 minutes, 60 minutes, and 60 minutes. Right? The first section, 60 minutes, for example, you must spend the entire 60 minutes. Even if you do it in 50 minutes, you can't carry forward the 10 minutes same to the next section. Right? So you must spend the maximum time. So maybe in the section 1, they might test you on technical skills and business skills, for example. And then on the second area, they might test you on business skills and leadership skills. Each section, they will test you on something, and on that whatever they test it, we do not know, but they will put up certain tasks, and once you write, they will say this is business skills, this is leadership skills. So we have no idea, but what we have to look at is, forget about that for the moment. We have to look at to answer the questions with lot of your E3 models, P3 models. That is what the technical skills means. So Mendelow's matrix, Porter's five forces, Ansoff matrix, SWOT analysis, PESTEL, that kind of thing. You don't need to go and explain what is a Mendelow's matrix and all that, but you should be able to say the main shareholders of ADF, for example, the father, mother, and the three children, they are the high power, high interest people. High power, high interest people. The 10% other outside family members, they may not be having high power because they're only 10%. They must be low power, but probably high interest. So you have to just go and explain and say, therefore, the key people, we have to keep them satisfied all the time, according to the Mendelow's matrix. So like that, you have to just go on mentioning. So coming back to the company, what we can see is for 15 years, they have not grown. And they are working at maximum capacity because each farm can have only 400 cows. So they are working with the 1,600 cows all the time. Can you see? 1,600 cows all the time. No increase of cows because they can't increase. No capacity. The farm can only accommodate 400 cows. So for say last acquisition was in 2001, and since then nothing. 16 years is a longer period for them not to do anything, and they seem to be having no strategy at all. They don't seem to have board meetings. What do they have? They have something called a family meeting. Family meeting, and they must be discussing these things also, the company business and this, that, and the other, and that's it. But this company, this farm is based in a country called Highland. It's a fictitious country, and it's ideally suitable for farming. And also you can ask me any questions, okay? Right. You can stop me at any time. You can ask me any questions. Don't worry. And the company is based in a country called Highland, and it's a country that is in the first 15 of milk producing, and very stable country, economically developed country. And even though it has an economy focused on manufacturing, it has a major agricultural industry. So I just want to picture your northern area, the Jaffna area. When I came, I saw a lot of industries, things, but still agriculture has its own place. Right? So the currency is something called H dollars, and as you go down, you can see few things. They have 22 and a half, 22 and a half, the father and the mother, Joeline and Archie. Then the three children, they are the people who are director finance, director farming. We do not know anything about their qualifications. Because sometimes in the family, they may not be having any qualifications, but they are just given the designations of, maybe they would have done advanced level or something like that. Sometimes they may be SIMA. But you have to remember, you are SIMA. So you have to maintain all the time what? The code of ethics. Code of ethics. You must be governed by SIMA code of ethics. You can't do anything what Max Anderson say or Susan Anderson say or anyone says which is going against the code of ethics. You can't give some advice. This country, our countries are very familiar for this, doing lot of unethical things, right? They might say, they might get a order to supply all the milk to, say, I'm just taking some examples, right? All the milk, maybe let's assume this farm is in a place like Jaffna, for example, right? And they might say all the milk of this farm, the 1,600 cows daily milk, they can supply to the forces in that part of the country. But they might say they will pay a very high price, but you might have to give a bribe to one of those big commanders in the place to get that order. Right? You might get a better price, because right at the moment you can see, if you have read this question very well, please see, you would have seen they are supplying their milk to whom? Their milk, they are supplying to whom? Who is their customer? They are producing 1,600 cows milk, and who is their customer? Their customer, yes, supermarkets, yes, supermarkets. So maybe like the Food City or Keels or some people, they are buying all the milk. All the milk. The entire production is bought by the supermarkets. And the supermarkets, we produce the milk on a daily basis. We don't have any storage facilities. We don't have any refrigerated facilities. What we do is we just do pasteurizing, that is to remove the bacteria, and then some outsourced, say what the milk bouncers come, collect the milk and go and give it to the supermarket, right? And what is happening is supermarkets are paying very low prices. So you can imagine now the picture. Now since you are working in the school, you can see the picture very well. Same number of students, every year, and the maximum number of students you have, but every year the students pay less amount. Last time they paid 15,000 rupees a term. This year they are paying 12,000 a term. What will happen to your revenue? What will happen to your profit? Yeah, revenue will reduce, profit will reduce, because the cost will be the same, isn't it? Yeah, cost will be the same, because your teacher's salaries won't change it. No, in fact, the salaries may go up, right? But if the children are going to pay less and less and less, same number of students, the number of students are not increasing. You can't increase because you're working at full capacity. Same here. What's happening? Yeah, they have only 1,600 cows. So the cow can't produce more milk than whatever they produce, right? Cow can produce a certain amount, so normally about 30 liters per cow for a day average, right? So that is the amount of milk they can get it from the cow. And if the supermarkets are paying less money for their output, what will happen? The revenue will drop and the profit will drop, isn't it? You can see that one very clearly if you go to the financials. That is PNL. This PNL. I want you to know this PNL. You don't need to memorize, but you must know certain things, right? The milk sales 2015 3.387 million. 2016 3.165 million. Reduced, isn't it? Why? Same amount of milk is produced because they did not reduce the number of cows. They did not increase the number of cows. They must be producing the same amount of milk. But the supermarkets are buying at less prices and less prices. So you can see the drop is from 3.387 to 3.165. So 3.387 minus 3.165. If you divide it by 3.387 minus 3.165. If you divide it by 3.387, you will get a percentage drop of 6.5% or something like that. Isn't it? What is the drop? What is the drop you are getting? So because these are very important figures. These are the things that you can immediately write in your whatever the thing you are writing. You can say our revenue has dropped by 6.5% or whatever. Right? So yeah, about 6.5, no? Yeah. So we can say our revenues have dropped by 6.5, but after having the same number of cows and more or less the same output because they don't talk about any diseases or anything. So, but the revenue has dropped by 6.5. Why? Because the supermarkets are reducing their prices every year. And you can see the cost, hardly any changes. In fact, there's a slight increase. 2.9 to 2.9, slight increase. So you can see naturally revenue is dropping, costs are same, and the operating profit has dropped from 700 to 420. Big drop, isn't it? And you can see finance charges from 336 to 261. So they have paid a loan, some part of the loan. The finance charges have come down. But you can see profit before tax from 364, it had dropped to 158. It's more than 50% drop, isn't it? More than a 50% drop. After tax, 277 to 123. Yeah, now I want you to think something very carefully. This statement is as at 30th of November 2016. You are sitting for the exam almost 30th of November 2017. Understand? If this trend is the situation, what will happen in end of 2017? Now you are a good accountant, no? Right? What will happen in 2017 if this same trend, because they are not told anything has changed, supermarkets are buying their product at reduced prices. If that is going to happen, what will happen? What will be your position as at 30th November 2017? Profit will get reduced, and if it reduces at this rate, even it may be a loss, isn't it? Huh? Maybe it may be a loss because we do not know, we are not being told, but I want you to be ready to, in the unseen, to be ready for a shock like that. Because from look at the profit after tax, 277 to 123, 154 drop. 154. So next year if there's a 154 drop or this year, it will be a minus 30,000, 40,000 loss. Correct? It can be a minus 30,000 or a 40,000 situation. If this situation continues, and it may be continuing. So you can see when they don't have a strategy, this is what can happen. Because they are not taught about all these things, and this is what is going to happen. So you being the strategic advisor to the company, what will you be advising? Now this is what is important. So you can't advise just, ad hoc. You have to see the scenario, and the last examiner's report also they say most of the students don't know or don't care for the pre-scene. Of course, I always say pre-scene must be read daily. Look at, because now between today, when is your exam, you say, Lakshana? Yeah, 25th. So before, till the 25th of day, so today is 16 days, every day you must read the pre-scene. Every day, when you come home at 5 o'clock, put a wash, and you must write one mock at least. Not a 3-hour one, but a 60 minutes one. 60 minutes. One section, you must write the answer. That way, you will get some idea. Don't worry, you will make mistakes. It's all right. Don't worry. Take your computer. I have already sent you a couple of marks. And what you are going to do is, today I will tell you the basis how to do, and you will start writing answers and send it to me. And then I will correct it, and I will let you know how you can improve upon it. So 50% common sense, I say. The business sense means common sense. Yeah. Yes, 50% is common sense, because business sense means common sense. You must be always as a SEMA qualified accountant, you must be very open-minded. You can't get angry with the people. You can't lose your patience. You must have lot of patience to hear other people. And also, when you are suggesting something, it must be something which is of commercial sense. So that's what I said. If you go and tell we don't have money, we can go to the market, stock market, and raise money, it's a silly idea, because your company cannot raise money to the market. Even this company may not be able to go even to a bank and get a loan. Already they have got some loans. This company, they don't want to get any outsiders, because it's a 150-year-old family company. In your part of the country, we know that most of the business are family owned. They don't want any outsiders to come. They don't want any outsiders to come and pollute their culture and thinking. Now, particularly in the northern part of the country, of our country, we know the culture is a very, very refined culture compared to the Colombo, and they want to maintain those kind of a thing. They don't want even, I suppose, if you're, say, uncles or people who are in business, even if if Colombo people come and offer millions of dollars, they don't want to get involved with them, right? Because they don't want to get polluted, they don't want to get corrupted, that kind of a situation. So, so you have to, when you are making recommendations, you must be very, very conscious that this is a family concern. It's father, mother, and the 3 children. So when you are making recommendations, you must be very, very conscious of the relationships, the controls that they want to maintain. They simply don't want outsiders to come. So can you think how this company, if they want to raise money, in your thinking, what are the ways they can raise money, Lakshana? Yeah, if they have, isn't it? If they have, but again, now that's what I want you to think. Look here, these people, what are they getting? They are getting a salary. They were getting a 40,000 or something like that annual salary, isn't it? Not a very big salary. The entire thing it is included in the staff cost of the 758, 820. The father, mother, and the 3 children, they are getting 40,000 each. Must be not a very big amount for the annual of 40,000 each, because the farm people are also getting some 20,000. So just that kind of, not a very excessive salary. So they may not have money, to bring. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. The big people in big companies, yes, they can bring money, but rights issues and all that. But here these people, these are family concern. No, you can see they are meeting in the family meeting and discussing the company affairs. So maybe over lunch or dinner or Sunday lunch, they must be discussing the business also in that meeting. So they may not be having money. The couple of things what I can think of, later on we'll think of, but I can think of is one way if you want to raise money, they might want to sell some of their assets and get some money. Because I don't think they can go for borrowings also because they have already a big commitment. Yeah, not only a loan, I want you to look at something very carefully here. Look at this balance sheet. Look at the loans. 4,200,000, and you can see there are two items. I want you to look at very carefully. Under non-current liabilities 4,200,000 and the current liabilities 300,000. Because you remember according to accounting standard presentation, any loan capital installment that is need to be paid in the next 12 months should be shown as a current liability. Right? So as at 30th November 2014, they had 4.5 million. Now 30th December 2016, 30th December 2015, 30th November 2015, they have 3,500,000. So during the year they have paid 1 million capital installment. I want you to note down these things, okay? 1 million they have paid loan capital installment. Also you can see they paid interest 261,000. So altogether on the loans, right? You remember you would have seen in television and our papers and all over. Tomorrow our finance minister is presenting the budget. He says he has to keep lot of money to pay the interest and the capital installment of all the loans taken. Right? So this company, they have to keep 1 million for loan installment, 261 last year. It may come down this year, but 1.261 million to pay interest and the capital. How much profit do they have? They have only a profit of 420,000. Understand? Operating profit is last year 420,000. Operating profit 420,000. Out of that they have to pay taxes also. So they have about 385,000, and with that 385,000 profit, of course you can add the depreciation because depreciation is not a cash item. And also you can add the changes in fair value of biological asset, that is also not a cash item. Yeah. So you can see 177, 257, 567, about 750,000 they would have had cash generated. But the loan installment and the interest itself is 1,261,000. How come this happened? Right? How can this happen? So only way this can happen is they would have sold some of the assets. Isn't it? Because they are not raised any new loans. So the only way they could have done is they could have sold some of the assets. So these are the points that you must note down from the Preseen. So they have not given us any details. Not given us any detail, but we can see the total non-current assets have come down from 15,157 to 14,190. Is it? So that means the asset values are coming down. Asset values can come down for two reasons. One, it is the depreciation. Two, it is sale of assets. So from 13,103 to 12.246, it's almost a 900,000 drop in the written down value. But we know the depreciation will only account for only for 192,000. So most likely they have sold some assets to repay the loans. Isn't it? So you can see this company is in difficulty even at the moment. Even as at 30th of November last year, the company would have been in difficulty. And it may be going into more difficulty now. Why? Because they are continuing to sell their products to supermarkets at lower and lower and lower prices. They can't increase. Why can't they increase? Because this ADF company, if you really see, there are two types of farm companies. One big farms with lot of cows. Then we have the smaller size companies. ADF belongs to the smaller size company. In the smaller size company, they are one of the big people. When you read the Preseen, you will see in the they don't belong to that corporate category. They belong to the smaller companies. In the smaller companies, the smaller farms, they have some 300 cows, 400 cows, that kind of a thing. But these people have 1,600 cows. But the big farms, they will have 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 cows. So when they have the big farms, 30,000, 40,000, they will have what we call economies of scale. Because they can buy whatever the antibiotics and all that kind of thing at cheaper prices, right? And their cost of production may be cheaper than our company. So they can sell it to supermarkets at lower prices. And when they are selling at lower prices, we can't go and ask supermarkets for high prices. So what's the alternate we have, Lakshana, here? We can see this company, imagine, you're working in this company. What will you see as a future for this company? Good future, bad future, or what? Yeah, so how are you going to correct this company? Because you are the strategic advisor. What can you do for this company? Yeah, to expand you need money, isn't it? We don't have money also. We are in real crisis, no? Because we have only 64,000 in the bank. So you need to expand. But expansion also, is it profitable? Because even if you expand, still you will be selling the milk to supermarket at lower rates. Isn't it? Because the Preseen says they are selling almost at cost. So even if you get another 400 cows, you will produce and you will sell it. This is the typical farmer story. I think your part of the country is more, they know much more than me. The farming community in Jaffna, they know how difficult for them to sell their products. The Colombo trader will exploit them and buy it at cheaper rates, all that kind of a thing. Right? So even if the farmer expands his area and do more business, and if he has to sell it at cost, what's the big idea, isn't it? He is tiring more self, he is sweating more, but the result will be same or worse than that also. Because he will borrow. You can see this company, what is happening. Look, I want to look at this company very carefully. Look at the financials very carefully. They are making a operating profit of 420,000, right? 420,000. Out of that, finance charges 261,000. So if we divide 261 from 420, %62 of your profit goes to whom? To the banks, isn't it? To the banks, isn't it? So you work hard, very hard. Farm business is not easy. Working hard, you get a salary of 40,000, the directors, but the bank gets 261,000. So what's wrong here? What's wrong here? Yeah, what's why? Because they have taken a lot of loans, isn't it? They have taken a lot of loans and probably they have expanded, and the expansion is not bringing any results. Only man who is profiting is the banker. This is typical in northern part. They take a lot of loans to do the farming, and ultimately they pay everything to the bank. Pawning their jewelry also they pay to the bank. After doing all the work, they don't get any profit. Sometimes the middleman is making profit, bank is making profit. So the supermarkets must be making big profit. Supermarkets buy the milk from them at very low rates. They do something, some treatment, and they bottle it, and they must be selling at very high prices. So you have a problem, you have an issue here. So one thing, what a clue that is there in the Preseen is this country is self-sufficient in milk, but they are importing dairy products like cheese and butter. This Preseen, what I have seen from my past experience, every word matters. Every word matters. So that is telling us something. What is it telling us? Don't keep on selling milk to the supermarket. Try and see whether we can produce cheese or butter. That may be bringing you higher profit, higher prices. But to do that, we don't have the experience, we don't have the know-how. Because we are very essentially a very basic company. Our directors are also the farm managers. The 4 directors are also the farm managers. One farm is managed by the mother and father. Other farm manages the son, 2 sons. Other farm manages the daughter. And in addition to that, they are holding positions like finance, IT, something in the directorate. And then the next level what they have is the shed manager. And then they have the cow herds. The shed managers are ordered, the promoted cow herds. I don't think they have any qualifications or anything like that. And the accounting is done by wives of 2 shed managers. So you can see a very, very basic structure. So I see in this question a possible merger with a cheese manufacturing company or a butter manufacturing company, or in the answer of matrix we might want to go to outside Highland, either sell milk or link up with a cheese manufacturing or a butter manufacturing company. Right? So these are some of the strategic things what we can do. And also we can see we have another problem. What's the other problem? That, the people are protesting about this way that we treat our cows. Not only our company, most of the companies, what they do is, although they show beautiful TV advertisements and all that, you can see in this company, the cows are never put out. They are in the shed all the time, right? They are in the shed because they don't send them to the grassy land or whatever it may be. They are in the shed, and therefore there's a risk of diseases spreading very fast. So they are given some antibiotics all the time with the feed, and therefore what happens is when we humans, when we drink that milk, we are also getting a little dose of that antibiotic into our body. And then when we get sick, when the doctors give antibiotics, it is not answering, because already that antibiotic has gone into our system. It's immune to that one. So the people are becoming health conscious, people are blaming, and they don't like this kind of caging. Now in Sri Lanka, you would have seen in the television, in the news and all that, in the recent past, people are protesting a lot about this animal welfare. They don't want these elephants to go on these peraharas and all that kind of a thing. Even in your religious customs, they don't want people to use these animals and all that kind of a thing. There's a big protest. That's a new thinking. Kind of this, there are a lot of animal rights people, the people who are speaking about the animals, right? So they don't like this because they want the animals and the birds and whatever, they to have their own natural way of moving about. So this is where you can see that Kevin's proposal is very much an attractive proposal. That Archie's brother or that Joeline's brother is bringing a proposal about sending the cows to the field. I'm not sure whether in Jaffna whether it is happening, because now in this Colombo part we have something called organic vegetables. You also have it there? No, because organic vegetables are vegetables according to these people without putting these chemicals and pesticides. Whatever they grow, that is called organic vegetables. I suppose in Jaffna, I think your home crops and all that you must be having without any pesticides and chemicals, isn't it? Now all with the chemical. That's a problem. So the society, the country is getting polluted, isn't it? Right? So because of that, lot of sicknesses and all that is happening because of all we are eating lot of chemicals now. Right? We don't eat the pure vegetables. So in Colombo, there's some companies selling what they call organic vegetables, organic cakes, organic milk, double the price. The egg is about 20 or something. They sell it at double the price because the people still go for that one. I had a daughter just like you, but she passed away just about 9 months back. She had kidney problem, and finally what was told was that the food that we eat contributes for all these kidney and all that. Yeah. So, this is what is happening. So, those days I remember Jaffna, those are the places where they had all these unpolluted kind of a situation. But today they are also becoming commercialized, and people are not bothered about the health and safety of the people. They sell, they put all the chemicals and sell food, and we eat all poison all the time. Water is poison, food is poison. So naturally, we have short life, lot of sicknesses, all that. Compared to your grandfathers and the great grandparents, the things are becoming very stressful nowadays. That's because our lifestyles have got changed a lot. So what I'm trying to say is, basically, you can see this company is having lot of problems. So I'm thinking of something like a unseen, some company coming and wanting to join with this company to manufacture cheese or whatever it may be, which is a good thing. I'm thinking whether this company, the directors might feel this company cannot go on like this, and whether they want to sell the whole company. There is no possibility of a management buyout, I can't think of, but you never know. Some of these so-called shed managers, if they can raise money, they might be able to buy a particular farm, maybe the North Farm or the East Farm or whatever. They might be able to, you might want to sell it. So the valuation can be a problem because we are not a listed company. So we don't have a share valuation. We have to value the shares based on net assets or earnings or whatever the methods we have to use it. There can be lot of protest from the, you remember in the Unseen there was an article about a particular farm. The people protested and people did not allow the milk bouncers to go and collect the milk. These are organizations that live on a day-to-day basis. They don't have warehouse, they don't have a place to store milk. Imagine one day if the transport people fail to collect it for whatever the reason, you have to just throw the milk away. Because you can't just keep the milk without putting it in refrigeration for days. So one day's output, so 3.1 million kind of a sale. So if you just take, say, you have to remember one thing, this company, it has a 360, if you take 365 days, right? The cows, there is a 8 weeks kind of a period where once a little cow is given, the mother cow is not taken for milking for an 8 weeks period. So every year a baby cow will come, and the mother cow is not going to give milk for 8 weeks, because I suppose during that period the mother cow's milk will be given to the baby cow. So even though the cows are there for 365 days, it is 310 days production average. 310 days average. That is the farming normal thing. Farms, although work 365 days, they can't stop for Poya, they can't stop for Taipongal, they can't stop for Deepavali. Because the cows don't know about the Taipongal and Deepavali. Cows' milk will have to be taken. They can't keep the milk for another day and give you a double output of the milk. So every day, 365 days, the milk will come, but not 365 days. 55 days of the year, the cows will not go into milk. So only 310 days milking will be there. Right? So if you take that 3,165,000 figure, 3,165,520 figure, 3,165,520 divided by 310 days, we see every day it's about 10,000, 10,200 sales. 10,200 sales. Yeah. So one day transport doesn't come. One day rain will happen. One day hartal in that place. 10,000 sales is lost. Can you see? Cost, no change. Cost change, no change, because no variable cost here. No variable cost. Everything is going, so the cost no change, but you will lose 10,000 revenue. Because the cow doesn't know New Year, cow doesn't know Christmas, he will produce milk. If you don't have a way of selling that milk, you have lost 10,000. So people going on strike, cows don't go on strike, people can go on strike, you lose 10,000. So you can see the sensitivity of the organization. 123,000 profit, 12 days, some problem, completely gone. So you have to be very, very sensitive. So these are my areas of thinking. So on that lines, I have drawn up some some mocks. I have already sent you a couple of things. When is your next free day? After 5 o'clock you are free, no? Yeah. Shall we make tomorrow? Shall we make tomorrow 9 o'clock? 9 o'clock maybe. Yeah. Saturday, Sunday also you are working. Saturday you have an exam. After 4 o'clock you are free. Sunday full time you are free. Yeah. Tomorrow I want to do a lesson tomorrow. So shall we say today we started at 9:45. Yeah. Tomorrow shall we keep it at about 9:30? Yeah. Tomorrow? Yeah. Tomorrow we will meet at 9:30. And we will continue. I want to look at that. I want you to read before that Kevin's proposal. Kevin's proposal is in the last pages. Kevin's business plan. I want you to read that one. Now you understand what we are trying to, how the case study need to be analyzed and all that. Right? So read that Kevin's part of it. Kevin's part of the story tomorrow. Before we meet, I want you to read from here. Yeah. Kevin's business plan. From here to the end, you read it from page 18 to 26 or something. Try to analyze, understand some figures. When you come at 5 o'clock, put a watch. And after that, say till 9 o'clock you have time, till 9:30. Try to read this part of the story and try to compare that with our present way of doing business, present financials. See whether you can pick any differences or any good points, any minus points. Right? And we are going to discuss it tomorrow, that area. Then after that, I think we can maybe Saturday, Sunday, we can look at some mocks. Yeah. So we'll do that way. Is it all right by you? Anything you want to know? Okay, right. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some of these things, try to give you the input, and then after that we will look into some mocks when we are ready, right? Okay. So tomorrow we will meet at 9:30. Yeah. And we will see how we can proceed with it. Any questions? Just send me a mail or whatever, and we will try to sort it out. Okay, so I'll send you the link once I record this one. I'll send you the link for you so you can have that also with you. Okay, then have a great day. Bye. Take care. Good night. Good night. Good night.